Drastic changes to the home buying process. On August 17, 2024, the way that buyers buy homes in the United States is changing dramatically. These new rules outlined by the Department of Justice is going to impact every single home purchase and home sale in the United States. My name is Mike. I'm a local real estate agent right here in Metro Detroit, and we do property tours, educational videos, and area videos for buyers and sellers to help educate them to make sure that they make the best decision for them. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and scope out our almost 3,000 5-star reviews. I've got your back if you're looking at buying or selling a home in Metro Detroit. So today we're talking about everything a buyer needs to know about the new laws going into effect on August 17th. Watch to the end because I'm going to put in the questions you absolutely must ask an agent before you hire them to help you buy a house. In the past, if you want to see a home, all you need to do is call any agent. The one on the sign, you can go through an open house, you can call through Zillow, you can Google one, go on realtor.com, and you didn't need anything except an appointment time, and a lot of agents would just rush out and open that door for you. In this industry, we actually call those agents Pop-Tart agents. Agents that would pop out of the office to show a home, and the only value that they had or brought to a transaction was opening a lockbox. No written contract in place, no disclosure on how they get paid, nada, zip. Then, if you wanted to, you could do it again with another agent on the next house and another agent on the next house and just keep repeating the process, but not anymore. Now, per the Department of Justice, you're going to need to sign a buyer agency agreement before viewing homes, any homes. Now, is this a hassle? Yes, for now, but just for now. Over the long term, I think this is actually going to be a really good thing for the industry and for buyers for a couple of reasons. Until now, only agents that had to show value beyond opening a lockbox are the agents representing sellers. Sellers typically interview 3 or so agents looking for the best marketing, the best skill in negotiating, commission of course, and the ability to get a transaction to a closing table. And right now that's really important because over 40% of real estate transactions don't close. They fall apart, resulting in time lost, deposits lost, things like that. Now, agents representing buyers will be forced to do the same thing, and they have to provide both value and transparency that in the past they didn't need to. So let's walk through this. Let's first walk through transparency. This will outline in writing what services your realtor will and will not be providing. Second, it will clearly state a time frame you're working with that agent. Third, it's going to go over compensation, something buyers largely ignored up to this point. But now that commissions are no longer posted on the multiple listing service, this is going to be very important to know ahead of time. So that's just the mechanics. So what are the actual effects of this? So the top one is, as a buyer, you're going to be committed to working with a specific agent for a specified period of time. That being said, that agent should be working harder now for each buyer for you than they ever did before. Before, you could just go see a home with agent A, see a second home with agent B, see a third home with agent C. And there's a lot of questioning in the agent's minds if they would actually get paid at all. So the goal was, of course, as an agent, and I hate to say this, but I will say this, we've been doing buyer agency agreements for over 10 years because we do put forward a lot of value and a lot of effort for our clients. But a lot of agents before would be putting forward the least amount of effort because they didn't know if they would be getting paid on a home closing at all, because you'd be out there seeing homes with multiple agents. So our agents have been using these agreements for over a decade. It takes the pressure off the agent, takes the pressure off the buyer, or the question mark on if our clients are going to use us, allowing our agents to frankly provide better service and better advice. The second bonus to buyers is agents will have to clearly articulate now their value to clients to get them to work with them. This means that they're going to have value to start with. And I don't want to be overly critical, but in the 23 years I've been in real estate, I can say that many agents actually believe the hype that their value is simply in opening a door. In reality, I love these agents when I'm representing a client, a buyer or a seller, because I and other great agents, frankly, get to eat their lunch every time. We get to look like a rock star because it's easy to spot a weak agent in a negotiation, whether it's during the contract itself, the inspection, the appraisal, or any other point in the transaction. Agents that are highly skilled crush the ones that aren't, period. Do I work extremely hard for my clients? Yes. And do I think raising the bar in general in real estate overall is a good thing? Yes. Will I be able to press my advantage as hard as before? No, probably not. Probably not. But right now, 40% of all real estate transactions are falling apart. Many times due simply to inept agents that should not be in the business. This raising of the professional bar I'm looking at as a win in the long term, especially for my clients, because it means that my clients get to go to the closing table more often as well. Here's the second important part to know. Previous to August 17th, a seller's agent would negotiate the commission, 5%, 6%, 7%, whatever that is, and give a portion of their commission to the buyer's agent as the incentive for bringing the buyer to them. It was disclosed on the multiple listing agent, and an agent didn't have to worry about getting paid because being a member of the board of realtors or in the multiple listing service, that in and of itself was a contract saying whatever was stated there has to be paid at the closing if that agent or any agent on the board brought you the buyer that successfully closed. Now, with these new rule changes, commissions can no longer be in the multiple listing service at all, even if a seller is willing to pay for it, and 98% of them still do. Now that the buyer is actually having to handle the commission contractually, and the seller could be paying all, part, or none, and I see this already working out in one of three ways in my MLS. My MLS has already adopted the changes, by the way, 4 weeks early, so I've got the data. First way that buyer's agents are handling this is the wrongest way. Buyer's agents are showing properties without actually contacting the listing agent and saying, hey, how much is the seller paying? In fact, it is becoming a surprise to the buyer, as in, surprise, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you've got to pay X commission because you've contractually obligated yourself, and the seller's deciding to pay 1% or none% on this specific home when they get closer to a closing. That sucks. It should not be that way. The point of this whole thing was transparency. The second way is, I'm seeing a lot of agents reach out at the time of writing the offer saying, hey, how much is your seller willing to compensate a buyer's agent? It's better, but it's still wrong, in my opinion. The third way, and maybe it's because I believe in transparency and I believe in training my agents to this point. So what we're doing as buyer's agents are calling the agents representing sellers before showing the property, before showing any of the properties ever happens. And then relaying that information and writing to buyers. So before you ever go into a home, you are going in completely eyes wide open with all information necessary to make the best decision for you. That's how my agents are trained. And frankly, it's how more and more are starting to work. Thank God. But here's why agents are not treating it this way. If I'm an agent and I'm showing you 6 homes tomorrow, but you're only buying 1, yes, it's a lot of work to track down some of these sellers agents to figure out what the commissions they're paying for all 6 homes. But is it the right standard to adopt? Yes. Transparency and doing the right thing is always the right thing. Always. So I promised questions, and here they are. I think I'm going to go in order from easier for an agent to answer to the ones that, frankly, is going to make them sweat a little bit. And it's okay to sweat. We should all get a workout at some point in time. I go run. I don't sweat during questions. Some agents choose to not be wonderful and sweat during hard questions. So here we go. First, do you understand and can explain the new rules to me? Most agents, even agents in my market here in Metro Detroit, where we started this thing 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks early, cannot. Second, how much is the commission, and can you show where that's stated on the agreement? That's an easy one, or should be an easy one. Third, how long is the agreement we're tying each other to? Another easy one. We're lobbing some softballs out there, right? Fourth, what happens if I want to get out of the contract? Is there a provision for that? That's a medium hard and a red flag one. If they don't have a provision, it's going to be hard for them. Will you tell me before every single house in writing what an agent is willing to cover? Now that's a hard one, and only because it requires real work on the agent's part. Okay, but here's the hardest one, and the one that shows an agent that brings real value. Do you have a plan to find off-market properties not on the multiple listing service for me where I don't have to compete? And how effective is it? AKA, how many times has that worked? If you're getting that blank stare and that stumbling of words, get out of there. Like, we personally have an 8-point plan to find homes other buyers and agents don't have access to or know about. And I'm not going to cover it in this video because frankly, it is proprietary to the permanent team and my clients that hire us. They get the benefit of it. So hit the like button if you found the information in this video helpful. Subscribe for all things Metro Detroit and more great informational videos about real estate, of course. And please reach out on any and all, I don't care where you are in the US, I don't care. One of the purposes of my life, one of the things I love doing is just providing value, providing information to people. I have taken calls from people in all 50 states at this point that have struggled with real estate or felt that they were struggling with an agent. So I'm more than happy to serve. I'm more than happy to serve. I've been in the business for 23 years. I've served 8,000 families and have thousands of 5-star reviews, more 5-star reviews than anyone else in Michigan. I don't care what state you're in. My guys, I am here to help and serve. Thank you again. See you in the next video.